All right, so I wanted to talk a little bit about. I'm in this group on Facebook. It's Adult Nerd Fighters. If you don't know what a nerd fighter is, well, go look it up. It's pretty easy to figure out. Anyways, so there I posted a thing, and it was talking about. Um, it was like a fictional little thing, and it pissed some people off because it depicted homeless people in a kind of different sort of way. Um, it looked like I was making fun of people, or because somebody commented, "Is that how you really see homeless and mentally ill, or whatever?" And I'm like, well, one of the main characters is based on someone I knew being homeless in Florida, so there was that. It's like, so, I mean, it's not how I see the homeless and the mentally ill in general. But that guy was homeless and he was mentally ill, and that's how I portrayed him as he was in that story. It was a short story and it was hilarious. But like my thought on that was, sorry, I'm moving this thing around. It's weird because it's not like, anyways, never mind. So the point is that, all right, so give you a tiny bit of backstory without too much details. I had to go to Florida. I was living in Georgia, and I had to go back to Florida because, well, I won't discuss that, but because it's kind of personal. But I had to go to Florida, and I didn't have anywhere to stay for legal reasons. I had to go to Florida, and so I didn't have anywhere to stay, so I had to go to the homeless shelter. And I had stayed at the Salvation Army previously, but they had changed the rules to where you couldn't stay there anymore unless you were a family or a single woman. They let single women in there too. Single women and families is what they let in there. Well, it was just me. So I had to go. There were two other homeless shelters there in Lakeland, Florida. There is the Talbot House and there is the Lighthouse. Lighthouse will let you stay there for 3 days without having to pay. You can stay there after that, and it was only $11 a week, but I didn't have $11 a week. I had no money at all. I only had me and my clothes. So Talbot House it was. And the setup there is that you had to check in at about 3:30 in the afternoon. You had to stand in line, and there's a person at the door with a breathalyzer. And if you blew any number other than zero, you couldn't get in. So you get in, and you blow. And of course, mine was always zero. I think I ended up drinking like a beer one night when I was there, and it was a night that I was forced to be outdoors. Partly because drinking beer just isn't my thing, and also I didn't have any money. Somebody else gave me the beer. But so you get in, and you go and you check in. You tell the person your name. They write it down. You go get in line to take a shower. Now, the shower is guaranteed. The dinner that's coming next is guaranteed. You getting a bed is not. Um, it depends on, well, at the time, it depended on how many nights you had stayed there, how many people were ahead of you. Well, that was a big one. And how many people were ahead of you. If in well, all of it, both of those things are important. So you get in there, you take a shower. They give you 5 minutes to take a shower, and so I learned really quick to take very fast showers. And so you get in there, and they also had a little area you could pick out clothes. If you didn't have any clothes, if you didn't have clean clothes, you could go pick out something. And I would go in there and get t-shirts, but I didn't need pants or underwear or socks or anything. So I would get shirts sometimes, and they would supply the soap, shampoo, shit like that. So I would do that. Good, you take a shower, hurry up, and get out of there, and then you go wait in line. You can either sit or you can go stand in line for the food. You don't have to stand in line right away for the food. You can also go out in the back area, which was pretty big, but it's all there's a wall around the whole back area, so you can't get out. It's high enough to where you can't climb it. I guess you could if you were, if you really wanted to, but it's not really necessary. So you go outside and you hang out for a little bit if you know people. Some people played cards, some people, just hung around, and they would have like a big cooler with juice or water or Kool-Aid. And so you could have something to drink in the Florida heat. And then it would come time to go stand in line for the food, and they would always do a quick little prayer, and you eat your food, which at times was decent. They fed us pretty well, I thought. I've had worse food. And then afterwards, you everybody goes outside after we eat, so they can clean up the dining room. And so everybody comes back in, you sit down, they start calling off names. And sorry, my nose itches. And they get to the very end. If your name is not called, you're out. Bye. You got to go find somewhere to sleep for the night. At the beginning of the month, it's a lot easier because a lot of people would either get, disability checks, whether it's physical or mental, a lot of mental. And those people normally would take that disability check and go buy drugs in a hotel room and stay there for a week. And so for the first week of the month, if you did not feel the need to do drugs, then you could get to bed. And that was pretty awesome. Near the end of the month, a little harder. So near the end of the month, what would happen is I made friends with a few people who were pretty sane. And one friend of mine who's now passed, he found this spot. It was it looked like a dumpster, but like completely closed, and it was really long. It was about, I don't know, 30 feet long. And it wasn't a dumpster, though. It wasn't full of garbage. It was just full of old newspapers. But like they weren't wet, and it was just newspaper. So you climb in, you shut the little gate thing, the little grate thing on it, and put your blanket down, cover yourself up with the blanket. Maybe if you have a bag, use the bag as a pillow, and you pass out. And so also what I would do is I had a pretty strict routine after a while, and then it kind of got screwed up after a while. But for a while, what it was if I was at the shelter, they get you up at 6-ish, 6:30, something like that. I don't remember. It's been a long time now. But you get up and you take your sheets and your blanket off of the bed that they provide you, and you go put them in the hamper, and you clear all your shit out, and you take it downstairs, or if you have anything that's not something they gave you. And then they do, I forgot to mention, if you have like a bag full of clothes or something, or a suitcase, when you get your bed, when they call your name and you get your pillow and sheet and blanket, you also have to put your bag in this cage, and they put a tag on it and put your name on it so that they can, it's pretty safe. I that was one of the things I liked about that place, is that at night your shit was safe. Wasn't nobody getting in there. So I'm gonna have to continue this here in a minute.